I do want to watch a bit of this, maybe, quickly. It's a Belullar Activision shocking corruption scandal.
Well, everyone.
I was talking a couple days ago about why I stopped playing WoW in the first place, and I figured maybe share this one with everyone. Is it can we have it in some sort of nice quality, or is that just gonna kill everything? All right.
Well, everyone, the absolute torrent of bullshit does not end because Gavin Newsom's in the gaming news today. Now,
wait a minute. Gavin Newsom, not the guy in charge of the goddamn state, right? California there? You mean our world's Joker? Why is he orange in one of these? California has been interfering in it. Whoa! Okay, well, give me a second. I'm gonna read this, and then we'll go watch that. I'm sorry, guys. The state of California's case against Activision Blizzard just took another blow. A report in Bloomberg alleges the Office of California Governor Gavin Newsom sought to interfere in a lawsuit between the state's Department of Fair Employment and Housing and Activision Blizzard for sexual harassment and discrimination. Don't tell me it's going to turn out he was going down to like Blizzard and picking up chicks. When the suit's head counsel, Janet Whipper, tried to maintain the department's autonomy, she was allegedly fired by Newsom, which prompted Assistant Chief Counsel for DFEH Melanie Proctor to resign in protest. So everybody who was smart just quit. Oh my god. Politics. Everything's about making a sign, not about getting anything done. According to Bloomberg report, Proctor sent an email to staff saying the Office for the Governor repeatedly demanded advance notice of litigation strategy and of next steps in the litigation. As we continue to win state court, this interference increased, mimicking the interests of Activision's counsel. Claims of interference by our office are categorically false, Aaron Mellon, communications for Gavin Newsom, said in a statement to The Verge. Bullshit! I'm sorry, lady! Or sir. Aaron can go either way. Gavin Newsom? No. He wouldn't be involved in anything. Oh my god, this is great. I love it. I'm all in now. I'm reinvested in this Activision Blizzard thingy now. Oh my god. He had to go and inject himself into this, didn't he? Can't leave well enough alone. Let's make everybody lose their SUVs. Let's do this. Let's do that. The Newsom administration supports the effective work DFEH has done under Director Kevin Kish. Now watch, you're going to have to investigate poor Kevin Kish, whoever that is, to enforce civil rights laws and protect workers, and will continue to support DFEH in their efforts to fight all forms of discrimination and protect Californians. Meanwhile, all of this stuff is still happening. But you can't get it all. No. But if we properly armed people and taught them to stand up for themselves, I think we'd have a lot less of it. We asked if Newsom fired Whipper, but Mellon said that she can't comment. What the hell is wrong with me? Comment on personal matters. Activision Blizzard recently settled with EEOC to the tune of an $18 million victim compensation fund. The DFEH, that's not a lot. The DFEH sought to block that settlement, claiming it could allow Activision Blizzard the ability to destroy evidence or release a company from the state's. After an attempt to stay the settlement, a California judge ultimately denied the DFEH request, paving the way for the settlement's approval at the end of March. Okay. It is. The $18 million settlement was criticized for being a drop in the bucket for the billion-dollar company. It is. Riot Games, a similar billion-dollar video game publisher, recently settled its own harassment lawsuit for $100 million. High-profile lawyer Lisa Bloom, who has filed her own case against the company, held a press conference back in December saying, "Given that there are hundreds of victims, I think we can all agree that 18 million number is woefully inadequate." Especially with how long apparently this stuff has been going on for. This was yesterday, was it? Spokesperson from Governor Newsom's office declined to comment on the circumstances of Whipper's firing. Oh yeah, of course they wouldn't. They would never say anything. Get themselves in trouble. While the DFEH's attempts to block the settlement didn't seem to be motivated by the settlement's size or relative lack thereof, it did seem to want to pursue harsher penalties than EEOC proposed. Now with DFEH's top two lawyers gone, allegedly at the behest of the California governor, it seems like political forces, who could have a vested interest in Activision's board or even Microsoft's, have decided Activision Blizzard has properly atoned. No, they haven't. In an email to The Verge, DFEH Deputy Communication Director Fahiza Alim said, DFEH does not comment on personal matters. DFEH will continue to vigorously enforce California's. That is not... I feel like that statement is just saying $18 million is enough. Belullar, quickly. I'll shut the music off so it's easier to hear.
If you're not from California, like, say, we...
Industries,
whoops.
What are you going to do about that, sir?
I don't know who he is, but he is the governor of California, and he is now involved in none other than our best mate, Bobby Kotick, and the whole Activision story. Yeah, I know.
So I don't know how many people know who Governor Gavin Newsom is, but he is a character of a man. He has been accused of getting in between the Harvey Weinstein lawsuit, Gavin Newsom. Rose McGowan claims Gavin Newsom's wife of trying to bribe her to keep Harvey Weinstein rape allegations quiet. Slams BLM and backs Larry Elder in California recall election. This was at September 12th, 2021. Gavin Newsom is also what did he didn't say anything like, I'm not trying to say he said anything crazy like huge. No, there's nothing here that you can't just go Google that the news is comfortable talking about with him. There's something he said at one of those weird climate things he was doing. Something about shutting down. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but still, like, Gavin Newsom's kind of a weird political figure to follow. There were a lot of photos of him because he's always smiling. This weird smile. That's why I said our world's Joker. That's it. He's not an anarchist or whatever. He's
right. So this
Democrat,
is
isn't
a
he?
story that is basically now turning.
That's all you need to know.
There's already people thought, oh, this is a bit fucking corrupt. But now we're getting more legit corruption. More, flags are being raised.
Oh, and he'll be reelected.
I think it's actually worse than.
Why would you want Larry Elder? Why would you want Larry Elder when you can have handsome old Gavin Newsom, a buddy of Weinstein's? Probably not Epstein. Don't worry. He probably was never on one of those jets. But he did try. It is looking like he tried to get in between this Activision Blizzard lawsuit, but totally put him in charge of the state again.
If the explosive allegation, as Stryer calls it, is actually true,
yeah, it's quite rare to have, say, a YouTube video or something where the thumbnail or title says, "I'm surprised," "I'm shocked," or one of those.
I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked when he said Gavin Newsom was going to be part of this. It's like, what the hell? How? What is that? Like, honestly, I was kind of confused what he meant by Gavin Newsom besides Activision Blizzard being in that state to begin with, right? It's in California, right? I don't think it started there, Blizzard, but I know they moved out there. Must have been early on enough. The reason I say that is I think it's an internet show called The Guild was saying that they had like a company for their version of the game in their show, and it was in California. Yeah, California, Burbank. Here we go. But is that where Blizzard started? I can't remember. I feel like they started somewhere in the Midwest for some reason. I'm probably wrong. I don't need to. Where did they headquartered in Irvine, California? Is that where they started though? Mike Morheim, Alan, Frank Pierce, Silicone, and Synapse. After all, it doesn't matter, I guess. I'll find it later. Wait, what? What about silicone breast implants? 1993 co-founder Adam told other executives that he did not like the name Silicone and Synapse anymore, as people outside the company were confusing the meaning of silicone, the chemical element used in microchips, with silicone. So silicone and silicone, the material is used in breast implants. Okay, fair enough. That had nothing to do with it. That's just hilarious. I love it. Oh my god. Can we not be associated with booby implants, please? Okay. I can't even get into a minute to this.
This time it actually feels quite genuinely that.
absolutely.
So to get into the story here, right, a top lawyer, this is reporting coming from Bloomberg, a top lawyer for the state of California has resigned,
Yes,
accusing
that's what we just
the
talked about,
governor's
eh?
office of interfering with a discrimination lawsuit against Activision Blizzard Incorporated.
Yeah, we just so he's got the
Helen
Bloomberg
Proctor,
article
who is
there.
the assistant chief counsel.
I might just
for
pull
the
it up
Department
myself
of
after
Fair
this.
Employment and Housing. Those are the people who brought the original very explosive. Both of them have stepped down from the suit without.
However you want to cut it, California is a disgusting state. Because stuff like this is going to happen and continue to happen. You can elect Larry Elder now and have some change for a handful of years, and maybe it'll continue for a little longer, but there needs to be a bigger change. Like, this isn't just in gaming. Gavin Newsom just happened to dip his toes into this one time. For now, it's going to be more as time goes on. California is basically the entertainment capital of the entire world. All of everything everybody does is basically headquartered there, Silicon Valley kind of thing, right? Like, there needs to be a change there. That's why I'm happy. That's why I am personally happy that there are other places to consume content, like Rumble, Daily Wire, The Blaze. I do like Amazon Prime. I like Netflix. I like the ability to have the right to choose different places. And obviously, with your kids, I would genuinely, personally, from my point of view, if you want them to just watch child content, just go find it. Put some wind in your sails. Get on Amazon, buy it, or if you're tired, or if you want to show them new things today, well, just okay. Honestly, I would say Daily Wire. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as we'll get into, the actual reason for the firing basically is, how do I put this? You're doing too good of a job. You're cleaning up the state here, and we won't have that.
Yeah, I mean, what a surprise. All's not well over there. So Proctor told her staff of the resignation, and when she did, this is also what she had to say. The office of the governor repeatedly demanded advance notice of litigation strategy and next steps in the litigation. As we continue to win in state court, this interference increased, mimicking the interests of Activision's counsel.
The office of the governor repeatedly demanded advance notice of litigation strategy and of next litigation. Yeah. Okay.
Essentially, is us seeing that
so
the
kind of like
of the goddamn
what Rose McGowan was saying.
Was taking,
maybe I'll pull that up.
Interest than is usual. And it's like, this is just the sort of corruption that just fucking happens, man. And I think we're...
No, I don't really care, because Bernie Sanders should not be president. I don't think Hillary Clinton should have been president. I don't think Donald Trump should have. But I'm glad he was. If I have to pick one of them, I'm glad it was him.
At least based on these people's claims. Yeah. So the governor's communications director stated, claims of interference by our office are categorically false, and the governor's office will continue to support the DFEH in their efforts to fight all forms of discrimination and protect California.
Oh yeah, that's the statement we had read.
But we certainly have evidence against that, which is quite interesting.
That's why I'm glad I put this on.
That she was trying to protect the department's ability to act independently from the governor, and that is why she was fired. So Whipper was apparently very aggressive in this case. She was the one.
But that's how politics in the States are running currently. It's how politics in Canada are running. They want one person in charge of everything, calling shots for everything, and if you don't get in line, you can get out of the way. It doesn't matter if you agree with the rest of the ideology or whatever. They also can't have the state looking worse than it is, especially for entertainment talent. The video game industry is going to boom. I give it, honestly, it sounds bad. Maybe it's cocky of me. Check me in 10 years. Movies are going to be way different, and video games are going to be what everybody's really doing. And then some video games are going to be replaced by something else in like 50, 60 years. But my point here is California has a lot to protect with making its image seem like it's good. Like not called Vancouver. You pick Vancouver, or you pick, and you can't. Now I can't remember exactly the streets that are called that Skid Row make up. But you take Vancouver, you take San Francisco, and you take Los Angeles. You just kind of go wherever you want, and you take the little buddy guy. You just drop it somewhere. You want to pick somewhere. You don't want to be too. I'm gonna think. For some reason, Echo Park is ringing a bell, so I'm gonna assume that's where I don't want to go. We'll just go right around here. Now, if I'm wrong this time, if I don't get it, I don't get it. I'm not gonna dwell on it too long. Like I said, with a little game, you'd get it sometimes. You wouldn't get it every time. But I don't like this area. I don't see any. The reason being, okay, here I feel like here's gonna be too easy though, because there is a park there. I wanted to find like what looked to be a mall or something. But you take the little Banum, and for example, you know what? You just drop them right here. And depending 2021, no drug users. Okay, fair enough. That's what I mean. Oh wait. No, that's a flamingo. I don't know what it is. But you just go like that. Now I picked like a side street, so I'll accept that one. I'm not trying to show anybody. But for example, you just look around and you'll see some of sometimes you'll see just trash everywhere. Like we're lucky. We're doing good. They're showing off a nice bit of town. But I remember like we would do this at work, and you'd end up with like the reason I said Vancouver, I think it was Vancouver. I'm pretty sure it was. My coworker, we were trying to figure out the location for this building for one of our on-calls. And she's looking around and she goes, Is that man doing drugs? I look over, there's two homeless men shooting up in the photo. That's what I mean. You just take it and you drop it. And sometimes you win. Sometimes you get to see something crazy like that. And other times you don't. But Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Vancouver are the three. And how? Because I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but we answered for a lot of places.
One who basically pushed
I think that's all I can say.
Riot case as well, and was actually seemingly doing a very good job to protect.
I answered for John Wick.
As we know with Riot, that's a pretty big win. And when you think about, like, you think $10 million. My God, that's so many dollars.
Yep, be good.
Of course, that's dollars in California. Would claimants be the word?
Yes,
people who would fall under that 10 million.
Have fun.
So, by the time it actually gets divvied up.
And that's the thing where it's that whole case of like, I think there's a Final Fantasy Tactics quote that works here, which is it's about because the people with money.
No. Here's a better way to put it. If there's a fine for breaking the law, it means it's legal for a price. That's what it means. Jaywalking, legal for a price.
That's half a day of Warzone. That's like 10 minutes of Warzone revenue. We don't give a shit.
It's a Warzone revenue.
Yeah,
It's a cost of doing business.
yeah.
Yeah, see? It's not. It's legal for a price. A fine is just legal for a price. That's all.
If the fine is not a deterrent, then clearly the system's not working.
Yeah.
Then you've got to sort of think, well, who are the people
The
upholding this
system.
What are theirs?
No, the system doesn't work. Like, that's what's funny about all this. Unfortunately, any way you want to slice this cake, the system doesn't work. It's not something I'm going to budge on. The system just doesn't work. You can try and say it does, but Activision in 10 years will just end up doing this all over again as the laws change. We're talking about California on top of that. You want anything to change here, you have to recognize that this is where, like, I'm not gonna lie. I know Silicon Valley is in. I know how close it is. I watched the show. I know where Burbank is. I know where all these things are. Where exactly? Okay, I'll admit. I don't know. Okay, so you have San Francisco, San Jose, and then what? Within a 4-hour drive, Los Angeles? Okay. And then the state, it's long, but it's not wide, right? Where's holy shit, they make a perfect pentagram. No, I'm kidding. There's so Los Angeles has Hollywood, and what? San Jose has Silicon Valley, right? Okay. They're literally within 4 hours of each other. The worst in TV, movies, and filming to be abused like that. It's less than 4 hours away from the entertainment video game capital of the world, where that same thing is taking place. This is going to keep happening all in California. You got to take the company out, take it to Texas where you're allowed guns. Take it somewhere where you're allowed to, defend yourself. Where you're allowed to take care of your business. Where people are going to actually make money, not be afraid of being shot and walking over homeless people and feces everywhere. And where it's not so expensive.
Yes.
They do.
Oh, man.
So, right, basically...
That's why you got to get out of California.
Getting fired. The Verge reached out. Newsom's office declined to comment.
Yeah, that's what we were reading a second ago.
Yeah. So the lawyer, who's now representing both Proctor and Whipper, said, for there to be justice, those with political influence must be forced to play by the same set of laws and rules.
But that's never going to happen. That's delusional thinking at this point. And it is. How are you going to make them? You'll make them this time, and then you're not fixing the problem. Fire them, and the next guy who replaces them will be different. How? Especially when you're in a state where they'd rather just continue hiring people who kind of love the way this works out for them. The Democrats love to hire just another Democrat instead of trying something new. Sure, conservative Republicans aren't much better. That's why the states will probably be divided in 10 years. There will be the eastern states and the western states. And New York will have to sadly be cut off and sent over there. And hopefully by then Canada will be absorbed into the United States. And then they can take all the provinces and divvy those up.
Which is
too goddamn big.
And continually hear shady shit about Newsom.
Yep, absolutely.
It's quite weird. Like,
I'm in Canada.
Some of those
we hear shady shit.
They permeate across.
Sure, I follow some of the circles that are a little more involved in this.
We just have to see it. Which, to be honest, I'm kind of sick of seeing American politics and everywhere I go. But
America is the protagonist of the world after all.
Yeah. So.
Well, yes, but that would be because every other country in the world is about as interesting as a wet noodle. Because none of us want to be honest about what we've done. Nobody wants Canada to be honest about what they did throughout history. They just want Canada to continue being the way it is until it eventually eats itself and falls apart. The reason American politics are so interesting is it's like an Italian parliamentary debate, except 24/7. People are throwing fists all of the time. And also anytime any country is under threat of something, the first thing they do is call for America. It's us, the people, being jealous of the freedom America has to have a state where they kind of made it legal for their political elite to do certain things, and then another state where if they were to basically set foot on that soil, they'd be shot. In Canada, you don't have that. No other country has that. Every other country, shit, trust me. Canada's like every other country. If not worse.
A little bit about some conflicts here. Mm-hmm. Right? Because, you think
of the G8, I should say.
At the end of the day, is California's GDP, it's bigger than the UK, right?
I believe so, it is.
California's fucking...
I feel like everything's bigger than, what does the UK do? I mean, they export these two.
Massive.
No offense to them. I think that's the best thing that they export.
Like, some of them are just, there's not really much to them.
I watched a lot of this.
Why are you not considered
enough of it?
Two countries? What's going on here?
Oh, California even has a little movement for that, I think.
I don't know who Matt is. He feels a little new to me.
It's just like that episode of Star Trek. All this poverty and this inequality and injustice and shit going on, and it's like, okay, I don't think we're quite at the cartoon level of that Star Trek episode, but my god, it feels like we get close.
Yeah, I mean that's actually one thing.
What are you kidding? There's 10 cities in California right now. People are protesting the stupidest shit. Wasn't their biggest forest fire started by gender reveal parties and anarchists? No, not anarchists. Antifa. And I think you know what the sad part was? When I finally looked into that, yeah, Antifa was there. Yeah, Antifa did stuff. It couldn't match the damage caused by the gender reveal parties. They needed to take notes. That's how bad it was. Now that's from what I remember. It was like 2 years ago now.
They're like, sweet, excellent, wonderful.
Yeah, well, how does a state that's bringing that much money actually get away with having that much of a problem that they've not dealt with?
Because the government doesn't care about people. It don't. It's a joke. It's a joke we keep telling ourselves every year for the last 4,500 years at least. Probably longer. Because the flood happened, and we have stories that we had civilizations before the flood, and the Bible tells us, we would argue back then, and the Mahabharata also tells us we had cities where we argued. The Greeks have stories before the flood where we argued. Do you think democracy is a new invention, or do you think democracy came before the Great Flood?
Now, of course, you think about Activision, you know, there's people, high up members of Activision that have came from presidential administrations.
Shit,
we've
really?
got some research into that to come, absolutely.
You goddamn
I'm going to go
loons!
super deep, but we'll get into this. So there's one group.
Oh, I'm
two
interested.
advisors.
Okay, I don't want to be mean. I said I listened to them, and I do. I like Belullar's stuff. I really do. I first found him about a year ago when I first started playing Shadowlands again, and I was super interested. He's really good at finding his stuff. But this is what I've never been this interested in a video of his. Usually I put him on, I listen, and then like 9 hours later the video stops playing in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Okay, cool. But this one, I don't know. I am like the dumbest person on earth. And I don't mean that like I know nothing. I've read everything I've come across. Pamphlets, all of it. I'm reading the Bible. I can't stop. It's why I can't watch a video sometimes. I pause it and I pull up the articles they're reading. It's because I can't. But this is like gold so far. I love it. It sounds like they're getting conspiratorial.
They lobby for a bunch of companies.
I know they're not.
Its owner.
Because California, this is California. That's the problem. Like California, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you think they call themselves the Cabal or not. We can call them anything you want. I like calling them the Cathedral, especially when it comes to Hollywood. But the Cabal, the Cathedral, whatever you want to call them, the pedophiles in charge, whatever. They're all in that's California. At the very least, that's California. You got to understand that. I'm not saying the whole Democrat Party are demon rats or whatever they want to be, whatever, you know, the alt-right want to call them. I'm saying, is it not weird? Excuse that. Is it not weird? This all happens in California at least. I'm not saying every Californian either. I'm saying the people in charge with money who have all the time in their hands. Why is it them? Why? I'm just asking questions. I don't do impressions.
They are very, very openly like, oh yeah, this fella, his name's Jason Kenney. Oh yeah, I've been my best friend for 20 years.
Jason Kenney?
Stuff together, and you're like,
Jason Kenney? You mean the Premier of Alberta is friends with Gavin Newsom?
Is Gavin Newsom's campaigns have gotten about 86 grand directly from the ESA.
mm-hmm.
8660.
It's certainly
okay.
a group that, you know, think, they stand up for gamers.
Yeah.
Of course, Activision is a member of the ESA. He received 48 grand in 2018, 20 grand
Oh,
in 2022.
wow.
That's this year, like.
Yep. Nat said Bobby did put almost 30 grand down on one of his opponents in 2018 because he's traditionally supporting Republicans at the federal level, while, of course, Newsom is a Democrat, but at the state level. But generally,
okay. But yeah, you
donate, you know, sort of
I guess it's up to you, really.
It's like I think maybe some of it's like personal stuff as opposed to Activision, but definitely the case of there's almost certainly a case where Newsom and people.
Well, when you do, like, I guess we've heard it before. These people aren't really for the Democrats. They just want their money, and they really are they're your consumers. Your consumers. That's basically who plays World of Warcraft. People who sit around all day. They don't like. I'm lucky in the sense that the situation I have. I'd like to improve it, which is why I'm doing at least everything that I'm doing right now. But at the same time, this is like I would say games like World of Warcraft are harmful. I've read all the studies. I've seen it. Same thing with drinking and cannabis and weed and all that stuff, Everybody should have read this stuff, especially if they're going to do anything. So I don't really care about loot boxes or anything like that. Why, first off, you shouldn't have your credit card in an area your son can get a hold of it and buy all that stuff. And second off, I do think there should be some recourse for going after the company. You're probably going to lose either way. I acknowledge that. That's the unfortunate situation of it all. Don't make it easy for your kid to spend $10,000 on loot boxes.
Associated with them have taken money from the ESA.
My parents never gave me the option.
But it's more just the overall system of just, yep, we'll fire money at you and you'll keep the state. You don't want those workers to get any rights because then we'll lose money and then maybe we'll give your opponent more money. Maybe not.
What do you mean workers don't have rights? Workers have rights. You have the right to sue your boss when he gropes you. You have the right to call the cops if you've been sexually assaulted at work. Hell, in the States, if you went to a smarter state, if everybody were to just leave California, unfortunately, okay, we have no more World of Warcraft. What's more important to people? Having World of Warcraft or these people being assaulted? Like getting these people out of there. Get them out of there. I'll stop playing World of Warcraft again. I did it last time. I only went back because I thought things were getting better. Are they? I don't know. The game's just fun now. At least the game is fun now. Get out of the state, though. You can't defend yourself. You have no recourse. Get out of the state. A whole bunch of people left already. There was a huge exodus. Why would you want to stay here? Oh, because I want to work at Activision. No, you don't. Not if it's frat boy culture. I wouldn't want to work there. I'm a guy. You guys have all heard I'm very antisocial when it comes to going places. But that's my point, right? Like, why the hell just leave? Go to another company, start it, make World of Warcraft 2. Go somewhere, take the stylization, start the story over again. Oh, we have 20 years worth of or 40 years worth of lore over there. Yeah, you have like we're finding out we have like more than 18,000 years of lore, just us alone. Just pick something from there. Make a new Lord of the Rings story where maybe we're part of a group that's interested in taking down, maybe there's two factions you can play still, and you could the player's choices every season change the outcome of the story, and maybe we destroy the magic MacGuffin, and that's how the next part of the story goes, or maybe we don't destroy the magic MacGuffin or whatever. Just get the hell out of the state. I'm not gonna mind. Okay, I play a Korean game for a couple of years. Yeah, I'll stop playing that game.
What these campaigns seem to be, but I suppose
the fact that they can do 22, 30, 48 million, 68,000, all these little bits of money to different campaigns. Again, it's why the system is broken in general. Like, it doesn't matter whether you vote Republican or Democrat, problem's not going away. But everybody just doesn't show up. Everybody just doesn't show up. No one goes. Your brother, your dad says, no, I really got to go. No, you tie him to the goddamn sofa and you tell him, just don't, Dad. Let it go. Let it go like you do everything else. It's not even like you want to do your taxes anyhow.
But then there's also
the roads.
Soft power, the schmoozing.
Yeah, I mean, how
what's more important, roads?
Does Activision Blizzard bring in? How much of that's going into California's coffers? How many times does Activision have to go? Taxes is looking pretty good there, Newsom.
Taxes. You pay your taxes so that Gavin Newsom can fire the person meant to protect workers when they're being sexually harassed. You're paying. Just get rid of the whole system. Like, I don't know if I'm even gonna the staff. Actually, I might want to see that. Overwatch devs can't catch a break. I might not watch that part.
We could just hop across. Oh yeah, up north's looking pretty nice as well for game developer industries. What are you gonna do about that?
Don't come to Canada.
That's the
what are you, nuts?
And it's just under the table done like.
Yeah. Now, of course, that said,
we're the worst. We're I swear, we're like a trafficking capital of the world. You'll go missing.
Thinking that something is true because we like how it sounds. Yeah. So there's a lot of shit
I guess
here.
that really only
It's all
affects
very
our
fishy,
native
but
women,
you
doesn't it?
can't
Justin Trudeau doesn't care about
preemptively
that.
just be like, the hammer of justice has fallen. This is how it is.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about some of Activision Blizzard's staff. Can we find any interesting juice there, Matt?
Do you think so? Yeah.
I'd like to know
some of this
what's
was
going
brought to
on.
attention, about 9 months ago when this lawsuit really kicked off. But mostly, like, their executive staff come from Republican governments and the CIA, which is, yeah,
That's weird as
that's
hell.
just a fact. That's what happens.
See,
there's,
both sides are
Brad
bad.
Molotov, who was obviously in the news for being like Trump's attack,
And the
dog.
CIA,
We
including.
call that in the news. Then there's Frances Townsend. Obviously, we know her very well from that email that she sent.
Wow.
Which is very interesting.
But it was
John Dixon,
after.
I can't remember his role, but he's also on the
So
C-suite
wasn't
level.
all this stuff
And
going
those two
on
are specifically
before
from George
Trump
W. Bush's
quit?
administration? And you're like, okay,
So-
why are there a load of like politically oriented people at the top of Activision Blizzard?
That is
Who
weird,
they
though.
know
That is weird.
that could help them. And then, well, I think this is more
Are
funny.
you
than
kidding me?
anything,
Who do
but
they know?
the World of Warcraft director Ian Hazzikostas was an associate attorney working on white collar criminal defense at Wilmer Hill, the legal firm. At the same time,
Working on
Bush's,
support
key
Bush's
staff
war on
involved
terror.
around Bush's administration stuff during the war on terror in the early 2000s. And then you've got the CIA connection.
That's
with
great.
David S. Cohen. He worked with.
So see, I told you, it's a CIA psyop plot to keep people from marrying and having children. That's all World of Warcraft is.
Hill the same time as Ian on the same stuff. So the game director of World of Warcraft has ties to the CIA deputy director. Don't think about that.
That is really
I
weird.
will say, I have
That's
a feeling
hilarious. That's
that
fucking
there's
great.
almost no relevance on
Yes.
today's story.
Of course.
Oh no, it
But
doesn't.
it is, you.
But it's
Charlie
weirdly
Kelly
suspicious,
style-
right?
How was she hired because you knew this was coming up and you needed someone who's like
Oh, probably.
really
What are you kidding me?
relevant to get out of it? Did you know that? Obviously, that's pure speculation.
I wouldn't look. In Canada, we did a stupid move. Actually, every bailout is stupid. So companies get bailed out all the time, and I wouldn't be too surprised if Actiblizzard is looked at as being some sort of, we can't let this fail. It brings in too much money for all of us. Because like, who's gonna say no to World of Warcraft? Jamie Lee Curtis plays World of Warcraft. Didn't you know?
believe
What was
it's-
he called? Was it Afri?
It was
Afri Japstein?
Really? No. That's hilarious. Wasn't I? No, I didn't say anything. I wanted to make a joke earlier. Are you kidding me? In light of recent events, here's a reminder that Blizz CEO Bobby Kotick was mentioned by name in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Awesome! Son of a... That's grand. Kotick Bobby. I don't know. Is that enough proof for you guys? It's enough proof for me. Bobby Kotick raped kids. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do that. I'm not. That's just funny though. Like, this is his little black book, is it? I thought it was like, for some reason, I thought it was gonna be like a ledger. This is enough proof for me. It's got to be enough proof for you. If this is enough proof for you, smash the like button. I was about to say, why am I on TMZ? But I think I understand what this is. It's Overwatch TMZ. I was gonna say, how come XQC is famous enough to be on TMZ? How does that even make any sense? Or what is he doing to be on there? I understand now. I've been enlightened. Okay, well, you know what? I'll finish this staff thing.
Yeah, so it was Effrey Epstein, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
what
so
a
he
surprise.
yeah. I mean that's
It
fine,
was.
This is inclusive, but it's like these people will all have friends. They'll have phone numbers.
Might not
they'll
be.
have powerful connections. They also have a load of money. But like, if you want,
But
if you want
look,
soft political
look.
power, and you have
it makes sense if the CIA were there that they set Bobby Kotick up to be on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane, and they probably set him up so he received massages. No. I'm speculating. I'm schizo speculating. How's that?
Yeah.
which is the
And
worrying
it's-
part.
I think it's where we have some scales to balance because there is one side of like, these people have friends that are powerful.
Yeah.
There's people who knew each other. But then the other side of that is, of course, guilt by association,
Of course, yeah.
which is not cool.
Yeah.
So, there's...
Which is
there's a
basically what I'm
balance
doing to
that
Bobby
acts
Kotick.
For all of this.
Maybe he just took an
And
airplane ride
I
with him.
think
That's
the
all.
best we can say is that these are things that we are, I think, right to be
Like Donald Trump.
suspicious and critical of. we should treat these things with a level of criticism, right? Now,
I like Michael's great, I'm sure, but he doesn't understand Americans. It seems. You think any of them are going to be critical? California is so up its own ass. They didn't even they hardly wanted to accept there was an exodus of companies because it was hairstylists and coffee shops that were leaving, but it was still businesses that were taking their business elsewhere. Okay, maybe they're not big like CNN or CTV. I'm sure they're definitely bigger than CTV. Daily Wire and The Blaze, they moved from California to Texas, or at least Daily Wire did. I think some of the shows that were filming in California for Blaze had moved. I think that's what it was. But Daily Wire, DW, my bad. DW, Daily Wire, they'd moved. They took everything. Was it enough to change the state? Obviously not. I feel like some days I feel like God made a mistake promising he wouldn't launch rocks at us anymore, because California, I think it was Babylon Bee, wife turns to salt while fleeing Disney in California or something like that. Yeah, because that's how bad it is. It's I couldn't imagine currently wanting to live in California. California, New York City. I'm sure everybody knows what happened in New York City right now. I know I'm kind of going off topic here, right? Branching it across the country. But you have these democratically elected Democrat states. Terrible, terrible things are happening. And then they're trying to focus all the country's energy in Florida over a Don't Say Gay bill. You have actual corruption happening in California. You have actual people being harmed. Sure, and honestly, you have in Florida, you have people being harmed, and that's what the bill is meant to protect. They're trying to prevent the harm of children. If you don't want to agree with that, unfortunately, that's the truth. They're trying to protect the children. That's why they're not allowing children to be taught certain things between the ages of pre-kindergarten to grade 3, because those kids like that don't need to be taught stuff like that, right? Doesn't erase anyone, doesn't stop anyone from saying anything, and anybody who thinks that they can't go out in public and say gay are crazy. They're me in the middle of the night thinking there's somebody standing in the corner of my room preventing me from sleeping. I thought it was Panda Booty Flake in there. My bad. You do have to make a decision. As unfortunately, only Americans really have this decision to make. The rest of the world just gets to watch. And yeah, as Canadians. Or as a Canadian, I don't get to say unless I move there, which would honestly be the dream. The American dream is way better than the Canadian dream. The Canadian dream is a fake one and is based on the American one. How do I know? Because it is literally called the Canadian dream. Nobody says that. And if somebody is out there in another part of the world thinking, I just want a piece of that Canadian dream. What part? The part where you're basically automatically a criminal within your own country because you're not allowed to defend yourself, because if you share a different opinion you're going to be ostracized, and you will. In Canada you're not allowed to. You basically have to be pro-LGBT, or you can just pretend you don't exist. Why? Because it's 2020. How did he say it back in 2015? Because 2015. And he was saying that about having a half cabinet full of women, which I don't think he's actually delivered on. But it's a joke. America is really the greatest country in the world, and they're trying to make it seem like it's the worst, when really every other country is. At least in America, they have the protections for this stuff. It's just you have people like Gavin Newsom getting involved. And that is going to happen every time. Which is why you need some defenses, which is basically why you need guns. Imagine if all of the people at Actiblizzard just decided, who's going to stop them from going after their abusers? if they're not going to get any sort of defend, if the state courts aren't going to help them? Shouldn't they have it? Shouldn't it be their right to seek some sort of recuperation? Vigilante justice? Okay. Would you, if vigilante justice starts to go wrong, aren't people going to protect people? Like, there will always be good people. You've always got to keep an eye out for the helpers. That's what I think is going crazy with this whole thing. Is it isn't too surprising. It just caught me way off guard. It really did.